Hello, I'm Jashikins, and welcome to another episode of The Raven Speaks. Now, what is this little series about? The Raven Speaks is a series of weekly videos about a variety of subjects. And, you can just feel free to comment below to suggest the topic for a future episode. And on to this week's video. In the world of writers, there are many opinions about every book, short story, etc. in existence. There are opinions about what makes a great story and what authors should be held up as the golden standards of writing. Most writers seem to hold the opinion that fan fiction shouldn't be considered quote-unquote real writing, that those writing fan fiction are just wasting their time. Unfortunately, that fan fiction gets popular enough to be published and give those people another reason to hold their anti-fan fiction ideas. Part 1. Own language and terminology. A/N, Fanon, Gen, H/C, OC, OTP, and crackfic. To those unfamiliar, those terms mean next to nothing. It's basically the same thing as a toddler doodling to some. And it seems like I want to just make the word longer for some reason. But those in fanfic circles will be aware what the odd terms mean. Author's note, general rating of a fanfic, hurt/comfort, original character, one true pairing, and crackfic. And just as I was filming this, just as I was reading that, I realized I never actually defined fanon. And God damn it. So I'm going to really have to quickly come up with a quick definition of fanon. Well, fanon are things that are believed by so much of the fandom. You know, they're just headcanons, but they're believed by so many that, you know, the whole fandom ends up believing it. And yeah, and so basically fanon is canon, but with, headcanons and such. I don't think anyone just randomly told to define a word like this to try to help inform people that aren't really aware of fan fiction, that sometimes definitions come to you and other times it's like 5 minutes and it's like, I think I got something. So very sorry about that. And to think I actually edited this. Anyways, crackfic is a type of fic that isn't meant to be taken seriously. A writer can take a silly idea and form a fic from it. All the other terms I stated also have their own meanings and nuances. Fanfic writers have effectively created their own language that you have to learn to participate in the community. I admit this is hard, but most are more than eager to teach you the ropes about the terms. So, fanfic communities have their own unique language, and somehow fanfics aren't an art form. Part 2. Research is involved. I think many writers don't know how much research is involved in writing a fanfic. First, there needs to be a general idea of the book / movie, etc., so that the fanfic makes sense. For my Game of Thrones fanfics, I have a small collection of maps of the world. Different maps are needed depending on the area I want to know the layout of. Sometimes I want specific locations in Essos, and other times I want to know the layout of the King's Road. And most relentlessly for me trying to find the layout of the Erie for the show. I kept running into descriptions for the book's version, and it took a long time to figure things out enough to continue writing a chapter. And mind you, that part of the Erie wasn't a big part of the fanfic at all. There are other examples from my own line of work, and I'm sure there are fanfic authors out there who have done a lot more research on the lore of their chosen work. Second, the same research for original works is done for fanfictions. I am not too big on research as some, but I do look up things that I find important. My research tends to be things I've looked up before and decide to use in my writings. Part 3. A worth of something can't be limited to money. Some people don't think fanfiction should count as an art form because no money is made off of it. To me, it seems wrong to say something doesn't matter because of monetary reasons. I can clean my house and that is given worth because there is a good outcome. A walk on the beach doesn't have any monetary value, but you can become healthier. Fan fiction can provide a way for people to face their fears in a healthy environment or provide a means of escapism. For a famous author to prove my point, let's turn to Emily Dickinson. While she did publish some of her poems while alive, there were many more that remained unpublished. She wanted all her unpublished poems to be destroyed upon her death, but that request went unignored. So that means Dickinson wrote poetry for the door. Fuck. And I just suddenly forgot how to learn to speak. Oh, gosh. Anyways, let's start over there. Pretend that didn't happen. So that means Dickinson wrote poetry for the joy of doing so. She didn't do it for the money, which is the same mindset that fanfic writers have. To me, this makes the monetary argument people have seem more idiotic and just another way to dismiss fanfics as childish. And I really, really shortened up about Emily Dickinson there, so if you are interested, I would suggest looking more into it. Part 4. Most fanfic authors don't want to make money off of their fanfics. Some of the mainstream fanfictions, 50 Shades of Grey by Yale James and The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare, are published works. The fanfics got popular enough that the authors were able to change them into original fiction for publication. But this is not common among fanfic writers. Most fanfic writers only write because they enjoy doing so. They will spend months or years working on fanfictions purely for the art. They don't plan to use fanfiction to help them earn more money. Some even see publishing fanfiction as a betrayal to the community. So say, I don't know, Susan is afraid every fanfic writer will use her work to become the next E.L. James. The truth is that she shouldn't worry so much. And that's it for this video. So if you do have any suggestions on future topics for future episodes, please comment down below. And also, what do you think? Do you think fan fiction is an art form or don't you? And please like this video if you do think maybe fan fiction is an art form. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'd sort of wink and do the nudge, nudge motion, but you can't see me, so that'd be sort of pointless. Also, subscribe to get more episodes of The Raven Speaks. And if you're watching this on my bloggity blog and watching on the desktop version of my bloggity blog, please choose the follow by email option so you will get alerts to whenever I post new content, which means you will never miss another blog post. And, I just don't do the Raven Speaks episodes. I also do dramatic reading. I do little bits of fan fiction. And I have a long post coming up. I finally finished writing it and will hopefully release it soonish. So, and before I release the post on my blog, I will be giving early access to my patrons on Patreon. So, yay! And until next video, goodbye.